Yeah.
Real quick, I have a video I want to play real quick. Highlight what's happening right now, Rolo. You might like this video too.
I might.
They pick wisely. They pick super wisely. They're highly selective with the women that they choose. And then when they've chosen her correctly, they spoil her endlessly. They put her through the ringers. It's like, you know, when you go to 6-7 rounds of an interview to get into those corporate jobs, they make you go through interview after interview after interview, a bit like going to a Harvard application. When you get to Harvard, they treat you well. Your life is set. But up until that point, they put you through it. What Fresh and Fit teach is take any kind of woman and then don't give her too much, play games, treat her harshly.
Oh, she hates.
What high value men do. They've got a reputation. They can't just take any old girl and then try and train her. They ain't got time for that. They take a woman who's been well trained by her family. This is what truly high value.
So I just did a reaction video to this.
Can you believe that?
Very clip. So here's the thing. Here's where Sadia is incorrect. Because what she's saying what might have made sense like 50 years ago, but she believes that there are these high status men that have this plethora of good women to choose from, and the statistics show us different. And I think because Sadia is not a man trying to be with a high status woman, I don't think that's...
And she is not a legal psychologist either. We have established
I don't think...
Who gave her a mic,
fraud
bro?
and
Who gave her a mic?
I don't think that's from her standpoint. She doesn't see it enough. I understand in a vacuum that sounds great, guys. Well, here's what we need to do. Let's all just have high standards, and we'll all just have good traditional women that'll come to us. But then but that's not reality. In reality, we'll walk around and we'll meet some really hot girls, and they're fucking crazy. And then we have.
I think it's harder for you to meet a traditional woman than Joe Blow on the street.
Yeah, for sure. Because the non-traditional women are I used to say this about Bilzerian. Danwood might meet the hottest girl. He loves them. They totally get along, whatever. But as soon as the girl goes to the bathroom, 6 big strippers walk in and like push her out of the way. And that you're right. If you have more status, then it definitely becomes more difficult.
Let me respond to this with this super chat right here. Okay, this is Johnny D143. Thank you. We need to have more conversations like this with men who talk about intergender dynamics and add value. This is what men did in the Academy of Ancient Greece. I agree 100%. And you know why I agree? Because
you were there.
Does not know what the fuck she's talking about. And that's who people are, because she's pretty, she's got big tits, she has no degree in fucking, she's not a clinical psychologist. At least Jordan Peterson has a degree in clinical psychology, okay?
Never ask women for dating
So
advice.
what happens is she gets popular by riding you guys' jock the whole fucking time, right?
For a while,
and again, anybody who watches your show knows she's full of shit. So when we have this roundtable discussion right here, and we're not kicking dumb hoes, we're not Frank Castling anybody, we're having this conversation right here. How come they're not doing clips of this fucking show? How come they're not going and saying, hey, hey, this was a really good conversation. Why don't we clip this and see how it works and see how it flies? The problem is that nobody's shedding blood. Nobody's dead on the floor. There's no big piece here. They're not flaming. They're not red, and they're not on fire.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a female making any type of like dating type content that has any type of alignment with Red Pill, you're gonna go viral because it's like, oh, we got a girl in here that like agrees with us. Oh my god, this is awesome, and they just circle jerk. But the reality is, with her is like, I just keep it down. She a cloud chaser, man. She been talking about us for fucking years, man. She begged to come on her shit. Like, and I was like, nah. When we were in Dubai on multiple occasions, I turned it down. This is the first time I've ever revealed this. And I was just like, nah, like, if you want to come, you got to bring some other chicks with you. We're not going to bring you on. That's the fucking truth. If I'm going to be all the way 1,000, and I got the proof. But, like, she's been coming at us for fucking years now at this point. Well over a year. Just saying all this bullshit. And it's just like...
but she's a traditional woman, right? She wants the exact same thing.
She's unmarried,
She's on
about to be in her
camera
30s.
promoting this. Like, she understands our lifestyle, but she doesn't understand anything. Yo, by the way...
She's a single mom?
Yeah. That's what I heard. I was looking up her degrees. There's Reddit. There's Reddit.
I know she's pushing 30 and single.
Yeah, I know
she kept. She don't got.
Isn't it funny, right? Women come into our space and they sit down, listen to the points, and say, you know what? I could say this as well. So in a softer, nicer tone to appeal to more people at a bigger level and gain a following. And then what they do is they grift off the space and they say, you know what? I'm the arbiter of truth now. You're a girl. You understand this. It's crazy, bro.
If you try to give really good advice to men, it's very ugly to the public. We're like, hey, you remember, don't listen to exactly what she says. Pay more attention to what she does. It's very ugly to the public. I like Chris Williamson, but Chris Williamson has a clip where he goes, just be yourself. He says it with his Welsh accent, and I'm like, dude, you take your shirt off for money, telling men to just be themselves. That is crazy. It's like Shaquille O'Neal saying, just get taller. It's crazy.
Just look at the banner on his like YouTube channel. He's
It's just like
this.
ripped like this. And my whole point is this. What's happened is there's two types of dating coaches. There's the dating coach who gives the good advice, but now we're watching how the sausage is made and it's ugly. And a lot of people don't want to see that. And now there's the dating coach that your girlfriend approves of. And that's Sadia Khan. That's Chris Williamson.
You should listen to her, man.
That's Alex Datesite. That's Mac and Murphy. They're dating coach that your girlfriend approves of. And that's what's supposed to happen now. Isn't it funny? All these people are super good looking, giving us dating advice. It's amazing how that works. It's just so funny. And so that's how I'm talking about.
Here's the biggest litmus test if the advice is good. Dating in itself is adversarial, right? And we've talked about this Rollo ad nauseum,
Mating
right?
strategies.
Yeah, like the man is trying to get sex and the woman is trying to get attention and resources. Both parties are fighting to keep their resource and get the others without giving up theirs. So if you're giving advice to one party, it automatically puts the other party at a disadvantage.
Yep.
So if you're giving proper advice, the other party should be enraged that you're giving the other one information that puts them at a significant disadvantage.
Well,
and I've always said this too. When women warn each other about men, it's called advice. When men warn men about women, they call it misogyny. Because the truth is, women don't want you to know the truth because that's their only fucking power.
100%.
When you know the truth and you can't be finessed and you can't be manipulated, guess what? She ain't got no hands either. She can't do shit to you. So they don't want you to know. But this is why I always say, women dating coaches, right, or women that give advice in this situation, they give you half-truths. A lot of things that Sadia says is actually correct. I'm not going to shit on her. But a lot of things she says very incorrect, and I'm not going to blame her because she's a woman.
How would she know? She
does not know.
I'll give you some inside baseball. When I consult, I rarely consult women, and I'm probably never going to write a book for a woman. For one reason only, they won't listen. And I don't mean to slam that, but
Bruce wrote Lady. No one bought it.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic book.
Right, yeah. And
Bruce wrote a book for women called Lady.
Aaron,
great book.
You should write a book on what they want to hear.
Well,
but
Five love languages.
That's called
Operation Evil.
It is Operation Evil. Yeah.
No one even knows Bruce wrote a book for women. It's called Lady.
But as it pertains to our overall conversation, is I would say, especially because everything is bought and paid for and taken care of, and they're not threatened with death or ostracization from the village or whatever. Women, they don't have to listen to the truth, and I think a lot of younger men, and again the TradCon community, you have to understand now, especially say using the materialist 80s, I guess, as a mark point, these girls will not entertain any practical, hard advice that would make for good quality and character, let alone a marriageable woman. And so things like, well, you got to tell a woman to lose weight nowadays. You can't do it. You just can't, you'll lose your job if you try and do something like that. Tell a girl to major in engineering. Tell a girl, like, hey, maybe you should keep the number of dicks in your mouth below a gross. Just wondering, but and for any young guy out there, if you're out there dating, see if you can give some advice along the lines of eat your broccoli, something that's healthy but is sacrificial and painful, and you'll see because you cannot have a healthy marriage or committed relationship unless the other person is selfless. That's the whole point of love, is you love that person more than yourself. Well, if they're all about themselves, which they are, because that's how we've been trained, and they never ever needed anyone else, it is a huge uphill battle that you're facing. So you can, if you can't even get a prospective woman to be empirical, like, hey, you want 3 kids? Well, we better get a house that fits this. And we're going to only be able to afford these kind of cars. Well, I need to have an import. Well, you, because math, that's it.